You are completely oblivious to the strength and power of a neutral citizenship. And here's exactly why. You getting a second citizenship is extremely important. That is neutral and not dictated by the changing world order towards singular polarity. Hello and welcome back to Traveling Reports. Today we're going over why exactly neutral passports are extremely much more valuable than what they used to be. Oftentimes when I am in a consulting environment, people only look towards one or the other, either Eastern aligned or Western aligned. But there's a third option, which is neutral. And often I look to places like Vietnam that are opening up their citizenship programs, or Georgia or Armenia, which I'm presently here in Georgia, and I will be doing a video on Georgian citizenship here soon. So if you're excited for that, feel free to subscribe and I'll get that out as soon as possible. However, when I look at neutral citizenships, what I see through the neutrality and through people holding neutral passports is there isn't as much hassle when traveling. Oftentimes, you have to have diplomatic reach if you are non-aligned, or rather if you are aligned, but you don't need it if you are not aligned. And the reason why is you are not considered to be a threat to anyone. So, what are true non-aligned countries? And even though I know many of you will be saying Switzerland does not fit into the whole non-aligned movement. And when I go to Switzerland, of course, I will tell you exactly why. But because I am reporting from Georgia, I prefer to stick to the countries I'm presently in. That said, I was traveling recently with a friend in Georgia, and oftentimes I'm used to countries stamping me in fastest. And this isn't to say that I'm somehow special. No, the US passport oftentimes, because of diplomatic reach, because of the US embassy, does get through very quickly, and they do not want to hold up US citizens at risk of the US embassy getting upset at them and potentially even getting them fired. That said, I was traveling with a Georgian friend to Armenia recently, and I got stamped through, and often when you get stamped through right away, you will be just moved along. But me and my Georgian friends got stamped in at about the same time. And then, additionally, I have had friends recently that have gone to Turkey that have gotten stamped in just as quickly as I have. And this shows that a neutral passport in these countries is not seen as a liability. It's not seen as something that they're realistically worried about. And that is, in and of itself, a very strategic thing to have. Now, of course, when you're looking at Georgia, it is more hassle in the EU or in the US, as Georgians do have a tendency to overstay their visa, which creates issues for those looking to stay longer term in a country legally, which, of course, I always err on the side of compliance. I always err on the side of legally living somewhere, and I recommend you to do the same. However, there are definite pros. For instance, if you're Georgian in China, there are definite pros if you are Georgian in Armenia or Azerbaijan, which Georgia, funnily, is one of the only countries to have both visa-free access to Armenia, Azerbaijan, Turkey, and Russia. So in essence, you have all of the region visa-free, as well as visa on arrival to Syria, I believe e-visa to Iraq, visa-free to Iran, visa waivers to many, many countries. And this permissive passport to the global east is a great bridge to neutrality and sovereignty. Of course, living across the world, you want this optionality, let's say, because if you have this optionality to go wherever you want, you can then get residency wherever you want fairly easily as well. And there's a knock-on effect, let's say. And so with this, you get, in essence, a large variety of ways to live and to expand, right? Your business, your lifestyle, your asset protection. And as someone who obviously spends a lot of time speaking with Georgians, speaking with people trying to protect their assets, I would say that without a doubt, some of the most neutral countries are also some of the most protective of global wealth. And additionally, if you look at, for instance, Thailand, if you look at Vietnam, if you look at Singapore, and I will be going to these places, they often have direct neutrality within their national ideation and within their idealisms. So for instance, in Vietnam, it's called bamboo diplomacy. And so in essence, you get them trying to grow quickly through trade with just about everyone and anywhere, right? That's the bamboo part. Additionally, if you look at Thailand, where they have been hedging with China, hedging with Cambodia, hedging with the United States, there has been a structural neutrality in Thailand that has been realistically furthered by the military and by the government. Other idealisms often make it extremely easy to see that neutral countries are great banking destinations. Georgia, Armenia, Uzbekistan. Realistically, it's more up and coming, but Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan is becoming increasingly interesting. Places in Southeast Asia, for instance, Singapore. And you'll notice that these neutral countries have great banking, which I'll get into the why of global banking in another video. If you like the video, feel free to like it. If you really like the video, feel free to share it with your friends. If you are looking for a one-on-one consultation on how you can get a neutral passport in 2025, feel free to contact me down below in the description. There's a Calendly link where you can get 15 minutes absolutely free of my time. With that said, this has been the Traveling Report, signing off.